Hello, today is June 7th, 2010, and today we are very fortunate to be joined by someone who has some particular expertise and knowledge with regard to programming or scripting of the mind, which is not necessarily a bad thing when one does it deliberately for their own self-help and so forth. For example, you can program yourself to stop smoking to make it easier for you to do. You can program yourself to help get a good night's sleep. So basically many things that are done with regard to research on the human mind that could be used in a negative way could also be used in a positive way. And fortunately, from this point going forward, at least for some time, as he is available, he will be joining us to help share some of his expertise to help us overcome the type of targeting that takes place with regard to, for example, when I was at a hotel and there was a shift in the chief of security at the hotel. They're called chief of security or head of security, but basically by and large their function is surveillance. And I noticed that several times, as other targets have also commented on in their experience, that when you go to a hotel, either if there was advanced knowledge of your arrival or else shortly after you get there, there are certain changes in personnel, including in particular in security, and many times the very head of security becomes some interim person for the duration of targeted individual's stay. And this happened to me, unfortunately, in Canada, where I was born, but I had not been living since I was a child, and I went back to try to get away from the targeting, only to find that this is an international problem. When I was at this major hotel, at least I was physically safe, I would say, even with some covert activities taking place, because in fact I was under very strict surveillance, and I basically stayed in the hotel until I finished getting certain information online and so forth out to the public. But however, the perpetrators that were working on this project while I was there played continual audio, and in this case, even with some words that could be heard, that around the clock said fade away, fade away, fade away. And it took me a while to even realize that, wait a minute, this music is extremely entrancing, and it makes it really hard to focus on anything else. Yet it's rather subtle, and somehow it never stops. It was a continual loop for a whole month. Unfortunately, I did not have the wherewithal at that time to do what I recommend to other targeted individuals to do, extra targeted individuals, actually, since I realized that on a mass scale this project is taking place to some extent. Because this that I'm describing was actually taking place over a public speaker system in downtown Toronto, Ontario. What I would recommend is to capture a copy of the audio. I mean, use some kind of audio device that's sensitive enough to pick up that sound and absolutely make people aware, on the internet and so forth, where you can distribute that information freely, that this is what is being heard in this location and so forth. That's a relatively safe thing to do, I would say, in that you're not identifying some specific individual perpetrator, but you are showing evidence of targeting taking place and the type of targeting that is taking place, to help people who study these issues and are working on ways to counter these issues, to understand what it is that is being done exactly and how to counter it. I did, however, even though I wasn't having the wherewithal and energy and so forth at the time and courage to get out of the hotel and get the equipment I needed to make the audio, I did get a letter from a stranger, but a conscientious fellow citizen of Canada, who was working at one of the offices or businesses, place of business within the same public area that shared the same public speaker broadcast. I got a letter from this person testifying as to I believe she put it like something like strange and repetitive audio that was coming across through this public speaker system. And so I will include that in this video, as well as some images. When I went to another location trying to get away from the targeting, I went on to Quebec, and unfortunately I could not even enjoy nature's sky at night. For example, I'd look up and there were images that I believe must have been holographically projected, of demonic looking images and reptilian looking images and things like that. Fortunately, by that time I did have more wherewithal, I did have more equipment, I did have more energy, and believe me, I made sure to snap the pictures as I was looking up in the sky and seeing these things that must have been part of the project to help get a grip on a target's minds. And so I will include some of those pictures in this video as well. But in the second part of this video, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. McIntyre, and the person that I referred to, who has some particular expertise in these matters, and will help us as he is available to do so. And then in the third part, I'm going to want to end with something that has really helped me. It was a message that just came from our higher power. I don't know how else to put it. And it came across very clearly, just some lyrics with a musical kind of, I call them lyrics because it was like a musical kind of tones to the words, but sometimes I write lyrics to full songs, and I've never been able to write a full song to go with these words or lyrics, and so I realized that they were just meant to be standalone as a message to me and other people similarly situated. And it basically came to me like this: God and God's angels are helping you, everything will be fine. God and God's angels are helping you, everything will be fine. And I never really thought it was the catchiest kind of music, but it was music that, and I never thought it was that easy to sing, but it was music that basically stuck in my head and lifted me out of the negative kind of entrancement that I was falling into. And so I've also found that being able to retake an enjoyment and appreciation of just natural events and images and sounds around us, such as birds in the sky and butterflies on plants and so forth, has helped me to regain a sense of a positive mental state where I become stronger. And I'm sharing some of these images and hoping that it will do the same for you. Where I share things that have nothing to do with targeting, that is just purely creative or artistic or enjoyment of nature, is on my Altered Sanctuary channel on YouTube. That's youtube.com/ALTERED SANCTUARY, youtube.com/Altered Sanctuary. And you're welcome to befriend me there. And I apologize for people who wanted to befriend me on this channel. I just have made a policy for various reasons with regard to the targeting, for mutual benefit, to not have a list of friends on this channel. But I'm very happy to be friends and exchange information more freely on the Altered Sanctuary channel. And what else would I like to say? I think that's basically it, so let's move on to the rest of the video, and I hope it was really helpful to you. Thank you, and have a very good week. Bye-bye.